Reynolds Field, home of your University of Northwestern Eagles. In tonight's home opener, your Eagles host the Augsburg University Aggies. Let's meet today's starting lineups. First for the visiting Aggies. Number 1, goalkeeper, Frankie Pinto. Number 3, Remus Repchuk. Number 4, Jakob Morlock. Number 6, Joseph Swallen. Number 7, Misael Harris. Number 10, Mitchell Munzing. Number 13, Anson Karn. Number 14, Jacob Thaw. Number 16, Cesar Daniel. Number 17, Muhammad Kita. And number 24, Jeffrey Richter. The Aggies are coached by Greg Holker, who is in his 21st season as head coach. He is assisted by Peyton Boych, Garrett Kalin, Nick Zuchowski, Spencer Enright, and Oscar Herrera. And now, let's meet the starters for your University of Northwestern Eagles. Number 0, goalkeeper, Michael Machuca. Number 2, Joe Niakaga. Number 6, Ryan Agude Medina. Number 8, Julian Ortiz Menevar. Number 10, Gonzalo Luna Belmonte. Number 14, Troy Johnson. Number 19, Peter Di Napoli. Number 21, Noah Chan. Number 23, Jackson Bauer. Number 33, Tim Deloy. Number 36, Cy Friesen. The Eagles are coached by Greg Wheaton, who is in his 25th season as head coach. Wheaton is assisted by Brad Wildman, Derek Skoglund, Isaac Friesen, and Austin Gunkel. The officials for tonight's game are Ryan Farrell, Sergio Ribeiro, and Khalid Ali. Fans, we ask at this time that you please stand and join me for a word of prayer, followed by the playing of our national anthem. Dear Lord, we thank you for blessing us with another day and for the opportunity to play and watch soccer. Thank you for bringing Augsburg here safely. We ask that you watch over this game to keep all of the players safe from injury and give the coaches and officials wisdom in their decision making. Help us to glorify you through all actions on and off the field tonight. Amen. Let's get ready to play Eagle soccer.
Good evening, soccer fans. Welcome to the Northwestern St. Paul campus in Roseville. It is the Northwestern Eagles men's soccer home opener for this 2024 campaign. You could not ask for much of a better setting. Just a few days into the month of September, a gorgeous Tuesday evening here from the Northwestern St. Paul campus in Roseville. It's 75 degrees right now. Winds gusting at 6 to 10 miles an hour out of the north. Enough of that. We're ready to play some soccer. Ryan Mitchell alongside Gio Velasco. Gio, how about this? We got soccer, and you couldn't ask for much better weather, at least in my opinion. I don't know if you wanted a little warmer, cooler.
I'd say for a soccer match, this is absolutely perfect. A little bit of a breeze, so you keep cool, but you keep going.
Eagles playing host to a school not too far away in Minneapolis, the Augsburg Aggies of the MIAC, a little UMAC v. MIAC to open up the home slate that is here at Reynolds Field this season for Coach Wheaton's club. We are underway from Reynolds Field. Northwestern in the home whites, purple numbers on the back, lettering on the front. They're working from left to right across your screen in this opening 45. The visiting Augsburg University Aggies in those road maroons with the gray numbers on the back, gray lettering. They have an early takeaway here as the ball is dribbled toward the Eagle goal box before Tim Deloy is able to clear. You're going to hear his name called a lot tonight for Northwestern. Eagles will have their work cut out for them. They played against the Aggies last fall. This is the home and home, if you will, as the Eagles get the return matchup here at Reynolds Field from the friendly confines. A season ago, Northwestern playing at Augsburg. That was a 4-1 result in favor of the Aggies. Northwestern 0-1 on their season. Dropped a contest to Bethel by a 4-0 final last Friday. That was at Bethel on campus in Arden Hills as the Aggies are unable to keep it in play. Trying to make a move there on the far side of the field as we see it was Mohamed Kita, the junior out of Gambia. For the Aggies, as Northwestern will send it forward, the goalkeeper for the Eagles, as he was on Friday to start the season, and tonight once more getting the nod for Coach Wheaton's club, Michael Machuca, the senior 6'2" goalkeeper out of Rock Island, Illinois, has been on the roster for Northwestern in the past, but getting an opportunity to play in between the posts this year. It is just he and Aiden Thompson, who's just a freshman into the program weeks ago for Northwestern, so no surprise that Machuca is getting the nod at least to start this season for the Eagles, and we'll see where we go from here. Speaking of Coach Wheaton, there are not many guys around the Midwest or in Division III soccer, period, who have been around as long as he has. In his 25th season now at the helm for Northwestern, leading the troops. He's assisted by Brad Wildman, Derek Skoglund, and Isaac Friesen, former Eagle player. His brother, Cy, as they call him, Simeon Friesen, was just pursuing the opposition there, middle of the field. Number 36 in white for Northwestern as Tim Deloy clears it forward, and the Aggies try to gain control.
I want to give an early season prediction for the goalkeeper. I think Michael is going to have a breakout season.
Okay.
I know him personally, and I know
Hold the starting spot all season long?
I know he's a grinder. I know he has it.
Speaking of Machuca, the Eagles will allow this one to be played all the way back to him. You know he's going to have to show up big time this evening to keep this talented Augie attack in check. I'm not even going to say off the board because I feel like that is a pretty tall task to just keep them scoreless, period. But goal for Northwestern, keep them tied down enough. Aggies have played a pair of matchups so far this season. I mentioned the Eagles 0-1, losing to Bethel, another MIAC club, this past Friday. Past Friday, out at Augsburg University at Edor Nelson Field in Minneapolis, they hosted a team Northwestern's familiar with, UW Superior, some UMAC v. MIAC in their opener. A scoreless draw. Superior has been at or near the top of the UMAC alongside Bethany Lutheran College on the men's side the last multiple years. Eagle fans and Eagle players know how talented Superior is. They play Augsburg well. They hold them to a draw, but then the Aggies bounce back this past Sunday at St. Norbert College. They win by a 4-1 final. Good number of returners from last year's club. For another experienced coach, I talk about Coach Wheaton in his 25th season at the helm. Greg Holker for the Aggies, 21st season at the helm for Augsburg. So Coach Wheaton shaking his hand saying, hey, I still got you by 4 years. But both of them have been around the block for some time, have developed a relationship over the years as these two clubs once again lock horns, if you will, early on in the fall in their non-con slate before conference play will begin. For Augsburg, their opener in MIAC play will be September the 17th against Hamlin. For Northwestern, it's not too far away. September the 18th is this one. Blazes high of the crossbar. No trouble for Machuca there. He was ready, but from way downtown, sending it in, Mizell Harris, junior out of Happy Valley, Oregon, let loose on that one for the Aggies. So both clubs looking at about just over 2 weeks before conference play gets underway. And on nights like tonight, you're trying to figure out who are your guys? Who are your starting 10 plus the goaltender to make it 11? And then who are the guys you trust off the bench? As the Eagles almost had that one taken away. Noah Chan able to play it forward off the pass from Deloy, but streaking in, trying to take it away for the Aggies. Zachariah Sherian, the sophomore out of Blaine, almost picked the pocket of Northwestern as they try to clear it out of their own half of the field. Going to be a tough task to be able to do so. Coming forward, unable to get to it, Gonzalo Luna Belmonte, the sophomore out of California, had some bright moments last year, taking a spill for the Aggies. The aforementioned Misael Harris, I pronounced that incorrectly before, my apologies. Misael Harris. And what do you think of that call, Gio? Was there enough contact there for the whistle to be blown?
Absolutely. He got his leg in there. He didn't really get ball, and down he went. But he knew what he did, and he helped him right back up. It's part of the game.
Good sportsmanship. Hope to see that from not just Northwestern tonight and throughout the season, but from the opposition, Augsburg, tonight as well. Dangerous spot here for the Aggies. They have two surrounding the ball. This one just about 10 yards outside of the goal box, easily within range for them to send this one right in on frame to try to test Michael Machuca, the senior out of Illinois, potentially will be asked to make a save here for Northwestern. Who will send it in? Harris will take it. Northwestern's wall standing tall, able to get a piece as the Aggies will scramble to reset it. Trying to take it away for Northwestern, doing a good job before that ball was deflected. Peter DiNapoli, freshman out of Elgin, Illinois, getting a nod for Northwestern. 19 in white, a guy to watch. Troy Johnson's a guy to watch as well. This man can fly for Northwestern. Playing it forward for himself and coming forward just in the nick of time. The Aggie goalkeeper, Frankie Pinto, the freshman, got there in time. Eagles still hot in pursuit from way downtown, sending that in. The aforementioned DiNapoli, as scooping it up is Pinto for the Aggies, the freshman out of Chicago.
And that counter, that's why you run that formation at the start of the game. Looks like a 4-4-2, but they changed it up a bit, and the right and left backs are playing more as wingers so they can come down the attack and help out. While it looks like Augsburg is running the standard 4-4-2, but with high press. So that counter can happen when those guys are pressing hard, and the counters can really hit back.
Appreciate that info, Gio. I'm not going to get that into the numbers, but you are a more elite soccer mind than I am, and you are proving that early, just a few minutes into this ball game. We are just over 7 minutes gone in the opening half again. 45 minutes in the opening 45. In Division III soccer, in case you do not know, there will not be stoppage time being added up. It will be a clean 45 before we hit recess here from Reynolds Field. Reset, and then get the second half underway later on this evening. Northwestern, a little bit of jump early. If you're just joining us, welcome. So pleased you could be here. Ryan Mitchell alongside Gio Velasco is the Augsburg Aggies visiting Northwestern. Try to play it out of their own end. They are doing so cleanly. Once again, running up this near side of the field as we see it for the Aggies was Cesar Daniel, the junior out of Portland. Plenty of speed across the board for the Aggies, as you're seeing, and the Eagles have to do that, what they just did moments ago, Gio. Be physical to try to slow down that speed. Cy Friesen did that well.
Absolutely, and what I'm noticing is Cy, they're using him as a roaming center fielder. He's there to put pressure. He's there to help on the attack. He's just trying to be a nuisance to the other team, trying to make them mad and maybe even get them a card.
Eagles trying to play a two-man game up the field. That was number 8 in white. You see Julian Ortiz Menjivar, and then playing alongside of DiNapoli, a guy I've mentioned a few times. He's looking at his left hand. He went down for a moment a bit earlier. We continue to play on. Not enough contact to warrant a whistle. Augie's dancing, quickly working down the field, sliding that pass in, unable to settle it though, as Machuca comes forward. Mitchell Munzing, the junior out of, you guessed it, Portland. A number of Oregonians, I guess. Is that how you say it? Oregonians? I don't know. I may have just
You may know better than I do.
But multiple Oregon products, if we put it that way, for the Aggies have been involved early. Jackson Bauer trying to chase this down for Northwestern will be unable to do so as Dean Napoli tried to play it forward to him. You can already see early, Gio, why the freshman's getting the nod for Northwestern. 19 in white, a guy to watch. One who not many people know about because, well, this is just his second collegiate game ever. But he's been heavily involved trying to make something happen for Northwestern here in the early stages. Now just over 9 minutes gone into this opening half. Okay, so again, Munzing's been all over the place. That's what we got to recap. No, you're good. Apologies for our technical difficulties dealing with some internet shenanigans here up in the press box. Appreciate your patience sticking with us. To recap, Augsburg has had a few chances in the box on Northwestern. One moments ago, Mitchell Musing rings it off the left post. It ricochets right back into the midst of Michael Machuca. Breakdown for the Eagles defensively caused that shot. A few minutes earlier, they had a drop pass on a breakaway down the field where Musing was going to put the ball in on net. As he was trying to settle it, Tim Deloy came in just in the nick of time with a slide tackle. Eagles were able to clear. They had it down in Augsburg's end for about a minute, 90 seconds. Tim Deloy had a throw in from the near side as we see it into the goal box. Eagles couldn't settle it down and get a shot in on goal. I'm trying to recap as much as I can, Gio. Do you have anything to add from what happened the last 4 or 5 minutes as we were away?
Augsburg's speed is coming into play on the wings. It looks like the wingbacks are trying as hard as they can, but it's hard to keep up. The center backs, they're letting players in, and it's showing in these opportunities. That last missed shot was pure luck off that post.
Some good footwork in the corner there before having it taken away for Northwestern. Another new name, the freshman. He's a Jaguar product. That is the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars here, not too far away from the Northwestern St. Paul campus, about 20, 25-minute drive. It's the freshman, Joe Nyagaka for Northwestern. Far side of the field, number 2 in white. Tim Deloy, number 33 in white, has been everywhere for Northwestern.
Good interception.
Cy Friesen from behind. Using his size, middle of the field, we've seen that early. He is a tall drink of water, 6'3" sophomore out of Mounds View, Minnesota. Not too far away from campus either.
If you're looking for a star this game, for Northwestern, it's going to be Cy. He is playing that roaming midfielder. Reminds me of a Chelsea player, N'Golo Kante, or even in the Italian league, Barella. It's just someone who just gets on your nerves because they're always in your face, defense and offense. And he's just tiki-taking in the middle. He's play off of me. I'm going to send it down the wing easily.
Yeah, I'm sure he would love all these compliments, Gio, and I'm glad you can bring this to the broadcast. I don't know the names you're talking about. I don't know the term you're talking about, but that's great because so many people who are more soccer fanatics than myself know what you're talking about. So keep sprinkling that in. Appreciate that as we tick here to 16 minutes into this opening half. Thanks so much for joining us and for sticking with us through some technical issues. We should be squared away now. Best production team in the biz, working tirelessly behind the scenes to get us back on. Once more, Musing, middle of the field, tried to settle a touch to it. Unable to do so as Dean Napoli played it to Bauer. Eagles trying to piece it together. Unable to clear as they turn it over once more in their own end. Noah Chan working back to it, able to play it out of play. If you're hearing the name Chan and you're wondering, hey, you know what? I've heard that last name before. Yes, he is the brother of Maya Chan, I believe, correct? Isn't he? Yes, younger brother of Maya Chan, star in the midfield for Northwestern women's soccer. Coach Pettit's club will have their home opener here at Reynolds Field, I believe a week from tomorrow, hosting Bethel. Meanwhile, the Aggies threatening once more deep in the Eagles' end. We're dancing right here. Machuca with the denial. Got his left foot to it as that was buzzing in. Even if it didn't get on frame, he had a teammate on the doorstep. Once more, that was Misael Harris sending a burner toward Machuca, who got his left foot on it. Eagles can't breathe. Harris going to that corner, the first corner kick opportunity chance for either side this evening, taking place right now. Top left-hand corner of the field, top of your screen. Harris, the junior out of Happy Valley, Oregon, will send in, trying to give the Aggies an opportunity to get one by Machuca. A high flyer, middle of the box. Johnson got his head to it first. Still not out of the woods yet. Eagles pinball it around before sending forward is Belmonte. Eagles out of the woods, at least for the moment. Cy Friesen continuing to be physical for Northwestern. He doesn't win that 50-50 ball, as the Aggies, though, will send it out of play. Throw in to Northwestern. And some excitement.
Machuca's looking like a prime Courtois out there.
Is that another goaltender?
Yep, the Real Madrid keeper,
Okay.
the Belgium national keeper. But it looks like Augsburg's really setting back every time they get the ball, resetting, and then using their fast pace to get behind like they do right here.
Harris this time will beat Machuca, who's frustrated, but one too many times the Eagles playing with fire, and this time they are burned as that ball got up the field in a hurry. Again, Misael Harris, junior out of Happy Valley, Oregon, gets behind the defense as we get another look.
Misael Harris,
I mean,
by number 10, Mitchell Munzing.
There's more to it as Munzing gets the assist, as you hear. Thank you to our public address announcer. There's more to it than I'll ever know, Gio. But in that spot, you really hate to see your goalkeeper hunt out to dry there. I mean, when you have a guy coming in on you, point blank, middle of the box, with speed, there's next to nothing you can do other than try to push the envelope, like Machuca did, cut off his opportunities by getting closer to him, see if he can get a piece of it. But other than that,
it was just a perfectly placed shot.
Yeah, it's a tough place to be for him. And, you know, Coach Whedon and his staff will look at that one on film and say, this is why they shouldn't have happened. This is why Harris shouldn't have got behind the defense on that pass.
And what I was trying to say right before they got the opportunity, I was trying to explain that they were setting back and then using their speed once UNW kind of pushed forward, like, oh, we can probably press a little bit, and then they counterattack with their false nine. And then once he gets open, that speed just blows him away.
Machuca trying to clear that one, caught a piece of Munzing.
Great heel flick by Cy.
Friesen trying to play that one in behind to Di Napoli. Aggies take it away, not allowing the Eagles to get in behind as they try to turn that into a quick counter. Di Napoli continuing to try to threaten for Northwestern. Can't miss him in those bright pink sneakers. Machuca, no problem, coming forward. Head on a swivel. Once more, though, you can see Harris is the man in the middle of the field for the Aggies, trying to get in behind the Eagle defense. Back of the heel pass there to I don't know who, just trying to move the ball forward as the Aggies will happily take it away and move it forward. Trying to move it forward there. Another freshman to keep an eye on for Northwestern. Good size, 6'2", out of Oakdale, Minnesota, North St. Paul High School product. Julian Ortiz Menjivar, another young underclassman, playing a big role, at least early this season, for Coach Wheaton and his staff. Excellent passing from the Aggies, and this one will go just wide. I believe Machuca got his foot to it to at least deflect that thing, trying to sneak it under his left foot. Diego Veit, the junior out of Chile, almost beating Machuca to double the lead for the Aggies. They are buzzing right now. Northwestern would like to slow this game down just a little bit if they're able to do so and catch their breath.
This is where that great speed comes in, too, because it's not only physically hard to stop, mentally it's hard to stop, too, because you start man-covering your guy. You start really pressing him, and then you let a quick pass, and they're in.
Tim Deloy buzzing down the field, the senior, boxes him out, doesn't touch it, now takes a spill, whistle blows, helping him up. Good sportsmanship there is Mohamed Kita is the man racing forward for Augsburg. Junior out of Gambia, more of that international flavor that was spoken on earlier for the Aggies. Talent comes from everywhere. West Coast we've already mentioned. We've mentioned Chile. We've mentioned Gambia. I mean, they come from all over the place to make up their starting 11, and then some options off the bench as well. Not as many as Northwestern. We were talking about it a little off mic before the game, Gio and myself. There is a lot of gentlemen who are on the bench, standing, watching for Northwestern. Lots of guys went out for the soccer squad this year. There is no shortage of healthy, able bodies to play at some point, and it's a good problem to have for Northwestern as they try to figure out who can give them a jolt, especially early on in the season. Their tough non-conference slate before UMAC play again will begin 2 weeks from tomorrow. hosting Bethany Lutheran College here at Reynolds Field. Eagles reversing fields now to the wide side as we see it. Ryan Agudo Medina, freshman out of Columbia Heights, Minnesota, was playing forward. Now back Noah Chan, settling it for Tim Deloy. The captain for this squad has been around for some time, playing a lot ever since he joined the program. That got real interesting out of nowhere. Just snagging that in the nick of time. Speaking of freshmen, fresh blood, Frankie Pinto, just a freshman, the goalkeeper out of Chicago for the Aggies. Maybe got a little too cute with that one. Di Napoli flirting as this one is a give and go from Johnson to Di Napoli. He's dancing, doing the jitterbug on the near side. Johnson, room to work with. A great through ball as that one is deflected off the Aggies and out of the goal box. Good ball from Johnson, maybe just a little more height to it, another 6-8 inches. That can get to the back post for Northwestern to try to connect on the other side of it. Good physicality here from the freshman we're seeing on the far side of the field as it's knocked out of play. We're broadcasting high above the field as we always do in the broadcast booth, one of the press boxes. We look straight on down into the stands below us, the bleachers that continue to fill up more and more here at Reynolds Field on a gorgeous Tuesday night to check out this soccer action. They look on down then to the Reynolds Field turf where all the action's taking place tonight.
Great crowd tonight. I'd love to see the support.
Eagles threatening here. They don't have the numbers, but they have possession at least for a moment before the Aggies try to clear. Once more there you see the freshman, Nyagaka, trying to make something happen as this one will go all the way down the other end into the midst of Michael Machuca. Real quickly, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback on the product you're viewing, we hope to not have any technical issues from here on out. We believe those are squared away, but if we do have any issues at any point, audio, video, or otherwise, please do not hesitate to let us know so we can attempt to rectify that as soon as possible. It's up on your screen. Thank you, Caitlin. If you'd like a shout-out, you can send it there as well, esnlivestream@gmail.com. Would love to hear from you on anything you got, predictions for this, rest of the season, whatever it is. If I'm saying a name incorrectly, let me know. Fun tidbit or fact about somebody on the pitch, you can let us know as well, as clearly we had some hand fighting there from behind. Johnson getting a hold of Daniil, and so Augsburg will be awarded possession.
And you mentioned the turf. Man, that makes such a difference in this game. The bounce off the turf is so much different than grass. And, you know, we're in Minnesota. Most fields have turf. But
there are schools in the UMAC who don't, though, and it plays a lot different game on the road when the Eagles leave here to play at, say, a Martin Luther. It plays way differently. One more time, Harris chipping forward, and the Aggies double their lead. It's the same guy, number 7 in maroon, Misael Harris 2, Northwestern nothing. Once again here, as we get a replay, Gio, he gets behind the Eagle defense, and it's a helpless spot for Machuca to be in. And you mentioned the bounce we get off the turf. Folks, that's harder than it looks at home with that bouncing ball where Harris can't settle it. He's just trying to chip it just over the top enough, little sand wedge action to get it over the head of Machuca. And then from there, Tim Deloy's in a full sprint trying to get there before the ball finds the back of the net.
And that was just a beautiful chip. Just a little bit of finesse that floats over, like you mentioned, just getting it enough.
So, Eagles will try to get off the mat, bounce back. You learn a lot about your club with how you respond after letting up 2 goals in the opening 25. How do you push back, not even just the scoreline, Gio, but can you start to get some possession on this end of the field? Mentally, where are you at? Do you start to hang your head, stop running hard after the ball, start pointing your fingers at other teammates? How do you respond emotionally, verbally, all of it, after falling behind 2-0 against a really good team? The last thing you want to start thinking is, oh no, this is going to be a long night, as this one is rocketed out of play, thankfully for Northwestern's sake. Quick one-touch to the left foot of Musing. He's been all over the place, assisted on the first goal, as it'll be once more a sent forward from Machuca.
Well, I think you got to put the last few minutes behind you. They can score fast, you can score fast. This is a fast-paced game. And these gentlemen, I know their mentalities are strong. They're not going to put their heads down. They're going to keep grinding, and they're going to start getting possession and flipping fields. And the coaching staff is very smart, so they'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's no surprise what they're seeing from Augsburg. I think it's a good point, Gio, and they understand what they've tried to do a few times, like you mentioned on the counter, where they can get the other way quickly. Now, more than anything, like I said, I think you want some possession on this end, and to slow the game down, as hard as that is to do. I mean, it's easy for me to say that way up here in the broadcast booth. It's another thing when you got the speed roaming all over the field for Augsburg. And it's not just the speed. It's the passing. It's the pinpoint right on the foot, going up the field, and then knowing when to go over the top in this Northwestern defense. They're trying to do that here. A little miscommunication as Johnson will jog this thing down. Playing it deep in his own end. Back to Machuca. It's been busy early for Northwestern. The senior trying to play ahead, only gets it as far as Cesar Daniil. Dancing with it on the near side for the Aggies.
Like you said, it's easier said than done up here, but this coaching staff is smart, and they know it needs to be not pre-play adjustments, but in-moment adjustments. Switching fields, telling people to press, telling certain people to step back, calling maybe side back the defense for one play.
Whistle blown will give the Aggies free kick opportunity. Trying to bend this thing right to left in on frame. Diego Vate, junior out of Chile, has his hands up saying, boys, you ready? Let's roll. Left-footed boot toward the back post. Tim Deloy first to it. Not out of the woods yet. Here's this man again, Harris, trying to dump it forward. Deflected off the Eagles. Now playing this one up over top of the crossbar. I'll tell you what, if that would have went in from that angle with that quick spin, that would have been SC top 10 this evening. But it did not go in. Jeffrey Richter tried to send it in. Junior out of, you guessed it, Gio. I mean, your guess, it's Portland. What's the deal? I want to talk to Coach Holker. How do you get all these guys from Portland to come to Augsburg? I would love to know that answer. If you're an Augie fan and you know partially that answer, let us know. ESN livestream at gmail.com.
I am very interested in that.
Johnson deflecting as that one was attempted to be sent in by Vate. Aggies playing it back to their last line of defense. Those guys have been busy from time to time tonight, but not working too hard as they'll try to set the offense forward. Flag is up on the far side of the field. Offsides on the Aggies.
He was offsides there, but you saw what they were doing. Setting back, switching sides, waiting just for one person to be open, and then, well, there's thought, but like quick thought.
Lots of quick thoughts on the pitch. We talk about all the physical things, but it is very mental as well. Eagles trying to move this thing forward, keep possession for at least a little bit if they can, give their defense a chance to breathe. Dina Pauly trying to drop it back, but the Aggies take it away. Aggies trying to maintain possession.
UNW is doing a great job of pressing right now. Cut off their passing lanes. Leave them hanging. Leave them dry. Get that counter going.
And I have to apologize to the viewers of this one as the Aggies have an opportunity, chipping this to the back post. Harris chasing but can't get there in time. I apologize, and this is coming in from the inbox and those behind the scenes. I've been calling him Peter DiNapoli. 19 in white for Northwestern is actually Jared Mohardine. Jared Mohardine. So I have a wrong listing in our program, unfortunately. So I apologize that for all who are watching and saying, you know what, that's not DiNapoli. That is actually the aforementioned Mohardine. So he's the one who's been all over the place, Jared Mohardine, the freshman out of Denver. Jesus, thank you for letting me know that. He's his dad. He's watching on the Eagle Sports Network tonight. Our roster is incorrect. We've made the adjustment here in the broadcast booth. Jesus, hope you're enjoying the action so far this evening. Thank you for giving me a heads up on that. And appreciate the kind words as well. If you'd like a shout out as well, ESN live stream at gmail.com. Trying to better our best, change our best, especially early on in the season, and get those kind of things squared away. So by the time we hit conference play, especially in a few weeks, we're just humming, Gio. We're not second guessing. We're just going right at it with the action. They know everything that's going on for, at the very least, Coach Whedon's club in Northwestern. Collision there. I don't think anything was intentional, but we are going to get a pause, and we are going to get a card pulled out of the pocket. It is a yellow card on Johnson, and you are the elite soccer mind, Gio, so I will give you the tough spot of explaining what you think of that call.
Even if it's accidental, it was just a little rough.
Yeah.
And it's yellows are just warnings. Like, hey man, knock it off. I'm being strict here. You don't want to set a precedent where it's you can get away with that all game and someone's gonna get hurt.
So you think there was enough physicality there to warrant the call?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just shutting it down.
Okay. So we'll fly that away. First card on either side so far this evening. Waiting patiently before sending this thing in with his left foot is Vate. Middle of the box. Missing an opportunity at it in the middle of the box as they can't chase it down. Jakob Morlock, senior out of Germany, trying to rise high for it. Stands 6'3" tall. I don't know, Gio, if he was 6'4.5", he may have gotten to that one, or he just mistimed it by that much.
I can tell you, watching the German national soccer team play, they are tall gentlemen. And they pretty darn good.
Aggies will play it all the way back off the initial kick from Deloy. Eagles have settled things down a bit. I got to give them credit, Gio. We've had more of a chance to breathe up here because the game has slowed down just a little bit, which I think is what Coach Wheaton wants. Now, eventually you got to move it up the other side of the field. You can't play at a snail's pace. But at the same time, just to give your defense a chance to breathe for a little bit, have the Aggies reset for a little bit, I think, I'm not going to say the momentum is changing big time to Northwestern side of it, but Augsburg at least has to think a little bit more now that Northwestern has at least turned the dial left at least somewhat in these last 4 or 5 minutes.
Yep, and I think that's huge. Having that pace of play being your own really can be a momentum shift. It can really turn the tide. And he's going down the field. Well, that pace, like they have their own pace, and they can just turn the dial up right there.
Nyagaka, again, is who you're talking about, Gio, the freshman out of Bloomington, Minnesota, trying to make something happen with those blue shoes wide side of the field as we see it. Cy Friesen again, trying to take away middle of the field, unable to do so. Here's the key spots where Augsburg takes their time, middle of the field in the neutral zone, if you will. At least that's what I'd call it in hockey. I know we're not talking about hockey, state of hockey here, but we're playing soccer. They move it ahead here on the near side. Centering this one, trying to box out the opposition. Some physicalities. We play out in Machuca with a point-blank save. Vade eventually was able to get control of it, send it right into the chest of Machuca. Able to not just get the save, but Gio, we know it's so key to not give it right back to the opposition. If you're unable to hang on and cleanly secure it, the next best thing to do is what he did, knock it down right in front of you, and then scoop that thing up.
Absolutely.
Quickly, Augie's trying to go back the other way with it. Friesen knocks it out of play. Just under 12 to go in this opening half. We do have one Eagle awaiting his opportunity to check in. No action from what I'm seeing on the far side for Coach Holker's club in the Aggies, trying to get some subs in before we reach the end of this opening 45. Bauer in a straitjacket right now, trying to somehow spin away. We believe it's Luis Villalobos, thank you, Gio, waiting to check in for Northwestern, a junior out of Lakeville, Minnesota. In case you're wondering, because I'm always wondering, is he a South or North product? Is he a Cougar or is he a Panther? He's a Panther. North product in for Northwestern. Giving way as Menjivar will give way to the bench for Northwestern. Freshman out, junior in. Tim Deloy throwing in for Northwestern on the near side, lobbing up to, you guessed it, Villalobos, trying to get a touch to it as he gives chase as the Aggies play back to their goalkeeper, Pinto, who I have to say is very chill in his space, Gio. I'm not sure if that's the right way to phrase it, but he seems unhurried every time he touches the ball, which is a good quality to have. But then earlier he flirted a little bit as Johnson was in on pursuit for Northwestern. Speaking of Troy Johnson, he's hustling back for Northwestern, as is the man who just knocked it out of play for the Eagles, Nathan Martinez, junior out of Shakopee, Minnesota, Sabre product. That's about a good 42, 45-minute drive if you left right now from campus to get to Shakopee.
One thing I've noticed that Northwestern is doing is that their attack is pressing and kind of having like a false nine, having their striker play more center forward. So if they need him to get a little deflection, come back a little bit, he can do it, and he can just go straight to attack. And their right back and left backs aren't really playing as wing backs anymore. They're just kind of playing up just a little bit, just to press, because they know that speed, if they can slow them down, have the center back come over and help.
Little contact. Eagles will get the call. Stumbling forward, Nyagaka once more, the freshman, as the Eagles will get a free kick. I tell you what, Gio, if we at some point, which this would be cool, if we had a halftime interview with head coaches down on the field, you would have a lot better questions for Coach Wheaton. I could come up with some stuff. You could get way into the weeds. I could not get into the weeds. I would be very 10,000-foot view. Hey, this feels like it's working well. This isn't. What do you change? As Martinez sends forward on this free kick near the top of the goal box. Villalobos trying to rise high and get ahead to it. He's next to some tall drinks of water, though. Villalobos, if you're wondering, stands 5'10" tall. Not short by any stretch, but there are some big dudes on the field, as they're going to say this was last off of the Aggies. And so guess what, Gio? With 9 minutes to go in the opening half, Northwestern will have their first corner kick chance of the evening and of the season here at Reynolds Field. Can they do something with it now is the question. It'll be sent in bottom right-hand corner of the field. Aggies get the first touch to it, trying to clear off of that initial send-in for Northwestern, coming from a man who we've mentioned a lot, Mo Hardeen, trying to play that in. Freshman out of Denver. Got a low burner toward the near post. Aggies just had better position to get the initial touch to it. So the Eagles unable to test Pinto there. Off of the Eagles, forcing the Aggies to reset. Just over 8 to go in the half. Eagles look like they're awaiting another substitution to come in. If my eyes don't deceive me, which they may,
I think it's getting darker.
Yes,
Alfaro, right?
I was gonna say the same thing. I think it's Alfaro waiting to come in for Northwestern. Aggies playing this one wide.
The speed's coming in the play.
Chasing up to it. Flag was up, though, the whole way to nullify that thing. Getting to it. Give him credit. Good hustle from Owen Saul's-Whittle. And I was going to say, guess where he is from, Gio, but I'd throw you off. It's not Oregon. Oof. It's not Germany. It's not Chile. He's from St. Anthony Village. He's like 10 minutes away. We now have a guy I'm mentioning for Augsburg who's from not too far away. There are a number of locals on the Augsburg squad, if you will. I've mentioned a few of them already.
Well, you know, soccer is just the game of the world.
It is.
So
truly.
many nationalities, and it's beautiful to see, and I love it.
It is indeed. Very unique. Back and forth we go. Fourth and back and forth and back. A seesaw between Nathan Martinez and Tim Deloy. Now he decides to play forward.
And this is where
right time to strike.
Just
miscommunication there. Trying to play it back for Northwestern. Trying to send this in. A great slide tackle to nullify that from Martinez. That's a savvy play from an upperclassman. Gio, when he's a freshman, he may not have the courage to do that, and he may not have the right timing to do that, but he's a seasoned vet. He's now a junior with Northwestern, been around the block a few times. He read that play very effectively to nullify that for the Aggies as this one just misses getting the right foot of the man streaking down the middle of the field. That was Tomas Mena, the senior out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Eagles again. Oofta. Close call. Unable to get a shot in on goal. But that was another very good chance for Augsburg, I guess. I don't know how else to put that.
And right before that giveaway, I was going to say they were changing the pace of play. They felt Augsburg's pressure and speed, and they said, okay, we're going to slow it down, and we're going to find our own way. And that was great, like you said, great seasoned veteran defense right there.
Some close calls for Northwestern. The scoreline still 2-0 as we tick to just under 6 to go in this opening 45. Thanks so much for joining us wherever you're tuned in from across the Eagle Sports Network, now a proud affiliate of the UMAC Sports Network. UMAC play, as I mentioned earlier, will start for Northwestern 2 weeks from tomorrow. Ryan Mitchell alongside Gio Velasco. Pleased you could be with us. It is a gorgeous night from the Twin Cities, Northwestern St. Paul campus in Roseville. 75 degrees at start time. Dropping a little bit now down to 72, but still very pleasant as the Aggies threatening, trying to send to the back post. Too much mustard on the hot dog for Cesar Daniil. the Portland product. Tough when you're running full sprint in that spot, though, Gio, to slow down enough to just feather the ball perfectly to the back post. A lot easier said than done.
What would you call it? Because, like in other sports, that's hand-eye. Is that foot-eye?
I guess so. Yeah, good coordination. Speaking of getting hands to the ball, if you will, Machuca stopping that one just barely, not getting by his mitts, headed toward the near post as we see it, as that was sent in by Tomas Mena, getting more and more cracks at it for the Aggies. As we whirl on to the closing stanza of this opening 45, they can see the light at the end of the first half tunnel. Eagles don't want to limp into it, though, and give the Aggies another good scoring chance or two. They'd like to keep this scoreline at the very least. Still 2-0. Augsburg, 14 shots so far in this opening half. 7 of the 14 have been on goal. Northwestern, just 1 shot. They have yet to get one in on goal to test Frankie Pinto, that being the goalkeeper for the Aggies. 3 fouls on Northwestern, 2 on Augsburg. Each side has had 1 corner. If you'd like to keep up to date with all the stats I'm mentioning, you can find all the links you could wish to find at unweagles.com. Johnson booms this thing to the other side of the field, rolling all the way into the other corner. Under 4 to go in the opening half. It doesn't look like, I could be wrong, as soon as I say the Eagles won't bring in another sub, watch, they'll bring one in with 2 minutes left in the half. But for the time being, it looks like Coach Wheaton and his staff are content to leave out the 11 that are on the field at this moment. Careful here. This play is on sides. The flag isn't up. Centered in, and somehow clearing that just barely. You guessed it. Ever since Nathan Martinez checked into the game, he hasn't had a moment to breathe. Yes, he's been able to breathe. I should back up. He has been in pursuit constantly in the Eagles' own goal box, trying to get it out of harm's way. Friesen, hot in pursuit here, trying to knock it away from, once more, Daniil, trying to make something happen. Throw in here for the Aggies. Eagles continue to look at that scoreboard on the other side of the field saying, how much time before we can get this thing into the locker room as they play it back to Pinto. Good news is he has enough real estate to get there in time, even though it was over his head.
Dangerous ball, though. And even though the score doesn't show it, Ochoa's had a great game in goal. Only those 2 counterattacks where he was left alone.
And he's had 3 point-blank saves by my account of ones where it's been, maybe some other guys in the area, but it's been the opposition in him, and he's been able to stop a few on the ground, and then the one that was right into his midsection here at the near post as we see it just about 8 or 10 minutes ago. I agree. He's been up to the task, and, the 2 he's led up, Gio, getting behind the defense, it's just Harris on Machuca, and that's a tough ask for any goalkeeper. If it's Machuca or anyone else that Augsburg plays this year, if it's Harris against the goalkeeper, no one else around in front of him, I think Coach Holker and his whole staff are going to say, yeah, we'll take our chances. Speaking of the goalkeepers, Frankie Pinto, as I mentioned, freshman out of Chicago for the Aggies. His mom is watching right now on the Eagles Sports Network. Jane, appreciate you writing in, watching on the Eagles Sports Network tonight. We can give your son, Frankie Pinto, a shout-out. His mom, his dad, his sister, and his brother are all watching, and they are so proud of him. Thank you for sending that in, Jane. Trust you're all doing well and enjoying the action that you've seen so far.
That is
We
awesome.
have information on Portland to get to eventually. How did all these Aggies get here from Portland, Oregon? We have more info on that soon. Good footwork here, trying to get the edge to cross it in. It's off the hands of Pinto. There's your first shot in on goal for Northwestern. Nothing to show for it, but one more time, Jared Mohardine, the freshman out of Denver, 19 in white, making something out of nothing. Didn't look like he had much real estate. A little spinorama, got the edge.
And that's the broadcaster magic. Mentioned his name and gets a save.
Yes, Pinto up to the task there, indeed, for the Aggies. .30 ticks to go in this opening half. Said it earlier, I'll say it again, there's no stoppage time. Not in Division III soccer, in case you weren't aware. I don't know if Gio would want there to be stoppage time, but I'm glad there's not. It's one of the things in soccer I can't stand. You think, oh, it's probably going to be like 3-4 minutes, and then it's 8 minutes, and then you think it should be 7 minutes, and it's 3 minutes, and then we actually don't know when the referee will blow his whistle. It's kind of just up to his discretion, and we're all waiting in suspense, but not here tonight because in 2 and 1 seconds, bam, tweet, there we go. That is the end of the opening 45 from Reynolds Field.
Is Augsburg with 2 and Northwestern 0.
2 goals from the junior out of Happy Valley, Oregon, Misael Harris. 14 shots in all for the Aggies, 7 of them on goal, 2 of them beating Machuca. He was up to the task, though. Multiple good saves to keep this at a 2-0 scoreline. Eagles got their last shot in on goal in the final minute, as you just saw a few moments ago. All right, let's get to the shout-out here before we step aside, Gio, because we asked and the people responded. This coming from Jeff, okay? As we have some veggie tales potentially, and then it cut off. Jeffrey Richter, I mentioned him earlier, junior out of Portland. His dad, Jeff, so I don't know if it's Jeff Sr. potentially, but his dad and Laura also watching this one. His parents, Laura and Jeff. So this is from Jeff Richter letting us know the Augsburg-Portland connection. Here we go. Stick with me here, folks. The 5 Portland boys on the squad for Augsburg played soccer together at Portland City United. These parents, Jeff and Laura, who are writing in, are from the Midwest, and their son, Jeffrey, chose Augsburg and told the coach about his other teammates from Portland. Ultimately, the other 3 classmates followed, and then the 4th followed a year later, if you're tracking with me. Okay, so there's 3 the same year as Jeffrey, and then the 4th a year later. Jeffrey and the man who scored both goals, Misael Harris, have played together in high school, club, and now college. So, he says hopefully the rest will be history in the UMAC. I appreciate the kind words, Jeff. They are chimed in, dialed in from Portland this evening. Hope you're all doing well. Follow up, tell me, are you Ducks fans or Beaver fans? That's not as important, but I would love to know if you do have that information. Okay, with that, if you'd like a shout-out as well, now's a good time to send it in. It's up on your screen. ESN Livestream at gmail.com. That's ESNLIVESTREAM at gmail.com as you see it there. Any feedback, shout-outs, we'd love to give them to you. Gio, what do you think Northwestern is discussing before we step aside? Right now on the field, they're not going to go to the locker room, it looks like. What do you think Coach Whedon and his staff are telling the troops before second half play?
I think they're just trying to find a way not to stop the speed, not to stop the physicality, but finding a way to contain it, limit it, push it where it's, if I can just stop them enough and have someone else help me, we could be able to take this game for our own.
Yeah, they're not, they're definitely not out of it yet, I should say. I mean, just a 2-0 scoreline. It could be worse. It's not. So can they come out with a bang in the first 5 minutes? I think that's always the key in sports we talk about. If you have a deficit at halftime, use that break to your advantage, and you have to be the aggressor immediately when you come out of the locker room. In this case, they're not going to go to the locker room. Augsburg on the other side, they're hoping to get more scoring chances clearly. We'll see how it pans out in the second half. I'll stop rambling along. We'll be back in the next 10 or 11 minutes, I'll say, shortly before second half play. Good one going so far. It's the home opener for Northwestern men's soccer. Keep it here on the Eagles Sports Network, now a proud affiliate of the UMAC Sports Network. Moments away from second half play here from Reynolds Field. Thanks so much for joining us on the Eagles Sports Network. Ryan Mitchell alongside Gio Velasco. Quickly, while we have a moment, I'd like to give a special thanks to the many organizations and companies that sponsor Northwestern Athletics. They include ACR Homes, Best Western Plus, Blaze Credit Union, Chick-fil-A, Cold Stone Creamery, Domino's, Doubletree by Hilton, Jimmy John's, Freaky Fast, 98.5 KTIS, Faith Radio Network, Mayo Clinic, Minnesota Coaches, PCL Construction, the Roseville Visitors Association, Solar Shield, and Wolfson Tree Farms. Thanks to all those who sponsor our Eagle athletes. This is the main event tonight, but plenty going on for fall sports. Football, American football opener on this field Saturday night. If you'd like to prepare for that or anything else going on, just head to unweagles.com or at UNWEagles on the socials. Gio, second half play here to start shortly for Northwestern. What do you want to see from Coach Wheaton's club in the first 5 minutes of this second half to try to push back?
The simple way I'll put it first is I want to see some smart play. I want to see passes that they really think about because they know what can happen if they mess up. I want to see someone in the CDM slingshot to the wides. I want to see him hit him over top to the striker.
Something to look for indeed. And what you want to see is even if it doesn't end up in a score, Gio, you want Augsburg to feel differently about this game 5 minutes from now. To say, okay, they're not going to lay down. Not that, they're expecting Northwestern to do that. But this is not going to be a cruise to the rest of this ball game. We're going to have to work for it in order to score ourselves one, but then also to keep Northwestern off of the scoreboard themselves. Again, Eagles in the home whites, purple numbers. They'll be working from right to left across your screen. Augies in the road maroons, gray lettering, gray numbers on the back. They'll be working from left to right, Eagles from right to left, as we're just about set for second half play.
And we have a great crowd tonight, and so many loud fans like Gina, Cheyenne, and JT, some of the fans I met on the way down. Great, just passion for this school.
And you can guarantee they're going to be into it to the end. They're not leaving early. They're locked in. Can you guarantee that to me? They're not leaving early.
Oh, I bet they're not going to leave early.
Okay, good.
They are going to be locked in because this game is far from over.
We'll see how the Eagles push back early in this second half. The man with the ball right now, Mizell Harris, was the man who scored both goals in the opening half for the Aggies, if you were not with us. Misael Harris. One of the many Oregon connections from the Portland area. Got that fun fact near the end of the opening half.
It looks like Augsburg's doing the same thing where they're having that switch of play and having the quick passes down the wing. But I see UNW, they figured it out. They are cutting passing lanes.
And look who it is moments ago touching the ball, Gio, to start the second half for Northwestern. Alejandro Alfaro, 29 in the middle, senior out of California. Dancing with it on the far side, has the edge, and then some hand fighting. And this one is last off of Northwestern, and I don't know what happened because both guys there, Gio, kind of quit on the play as the ball went out of play. Once more trying to make something happen for the Eagles is Mo Hardeen, the freshman out of Denver. We saw him quite a bit on the near side of the field as we see it in the opening half. Okay, so retroactively, the whistle's blown for a foul. So he's trying to give an explanation to the defender for the Aggies.
I think it was just some normal chasing the ball, shoving, and the ref thought it was a little too much, and he gave the
Eagles
call.
will take it. We know that. A free kick opportunity from an advantageous spot. It's Friesen and Mo Hardeen both circling the area. Who will send it in? Mo Hardeen will drop this one. Trying to get it through, unable to do so, is Belmonte, the sophomore. Eagles wish they could have got more out of that on that set piece to not get one through to Tess Pinto. Harris would have been offside, so he literally just stopped running forward as the Aggies send it forward, and it'll just roll all the way out of play.
Augsburg had numbers there, but UNW played that so well. Not panicking and just saying, hey, I know where the ref is, I know where offsides is, and I'm just going to keep marking my man.
Tim Deloy busy all first half long. No shocker there. He's used to it. Senior out of Wausau playing forward as the Eagles try to initiate their breakout. Alfaro, nice footwork, middle of the field. He's a veteran. He's a senior. He's got tread on his tires still left, and he's got full juice in the tank for the second half of play. Nice takeaway there moments ago from Kita. Eagles take it right back, though.
And right there, that's the adjustments UNW is seeing. They know once you get that ball, you're just going to flick it away. So I'm going to cut that passing lane, and I'm going to take it for a spin.
Mentally get more and more sharp as this one wears along, especially defensively in their tactics. Want to see that definitely from Northwestern. Alfaro got a touch to it before the Aggies regain control. Gorgeous night from Reynolds Field. Could not ask for anything more. 72 degrees. Just a slight breeze out of the north.
Just like Cy in the first half, Alfaro's playing that pit pocket. He's playing that defensive midfielder. He's being an annoyance, and looks like Cy's going to kind of be the roaming guy. So he's going to do what he's doing on defense, but he's going to move up a little bit more on offense.
Nyagaka played it forward for Villalobos. Eagles looked like they would have been able to maybe cross it in, but the Aggies knock it away just in the nick of time. Great crowd on hand. Couldn't agree more, Gio, from what you said a few minutes ago. We got Northwestern women's soccer looking on. I saw some volleyball players, fellow athletes supporting each other. You love to see it. Gorgeous night. Where would you rather be? Get out of your dorm, get out of your apartment, wherever you're at, and spend some time at Reynolds Field. Enjoy your Tuesday evening. Yep. You can't have that much homework at this point, can you, Gio? I mean, I guess you could. I'm not a student anymore, for those who don't know, but.
For me, it's not that much, but I know a lot of my friends have a lot of homework so far. But if they're going to be here to support their fellow classmates and
you could have done it earlier, or you could do it later, you know? Yeah. After this is done, we got some great U.S. Open tennis on. Turn that on, knock out some homework, and, go to sleep later on.
Yep. And you can't beat a nice, cool, not cold evening watching some football.
Corner kick chance for the Aggies. Second of the evening for them. Eagles get a piece. This one flickered through, still loose, and it'll find the back of the net. Eagles could not get a clearance. Machuca initially got a foot to it. Aggies eventually able to find the back of the net. I got to be honest, I'm still trying to figure out who was the last one to knock it in. As you get another look at home, ball bounced around.
Number 4, Jakob Morlock.
There you go on the goal scoring. Jakob Morlock. Appreciate the replay, Joe. As you saw there, Northwestern trying to clear it desperately, unable to do so. Morlock, the senior out of Germany, finds the back of the net, and just like that, it's a 3-0 lead. Gio, your thoughts on that frantic sequence?
Just pure unlucky for the goalkeeper. You make an amazing save, and it just rolls away enough for them to flick it back in.
Yeah, those are the ones that you hate to experience where you feel like you're in the right spot, right? And, I mean, as a goalkeeper, Machuca trying to somehow get his hand on that to be able to cover that one up, but you're hoping one of your teammates, if you're Machuca that is able to kick that thing out of harm's way. Eagles unable to do so, and the good teams make you pay in a spot like that if it stays in that area a little bit longer than it should. Augies able to finish it. Taking a spill on the play is Kita, but we play on. Lobbing this one away far ahead. Napoli will get there just in the nick of time. I have to correct myself. It's a new goalkeeper for the Augies. Gio, I just noticed it is Luke Omat, senior out of St. Anthony Village, Minnesota, playing the second half for Coach Holker's club. Maybe it's a goalie competition for Augsburg. Just 3 games into the season, one guy gets one half, one gets the other, and by the time they get to MIAC play, they'll say, hey, this is the man we're rolling with.
Very well could be, and better do it earlier in the season than later. Know what you have now.
So something to keep an eye on.
Well, there's that counter.
Machuca coming forward smartly to secure that one. Right back up on his feet. Good to see. Racing back in pursuit defensively. Tip of the cap there to Medina. Buzzing down the field, and then he ran into his teammate, his goalkeeper, and Machuca helps to pick him up. Friesen, sky high, sends this thing to the Eagle logo.
That's a great clearance right there in pressured territory.
As the Augies try to feather it back the other way. Attempted slide tackle attempt. Whistle blown, foul called on Northwestern. Now they have 4 fouls on the contest. Augies with a pair. Trying to reverse field flick to the near side, unable to settle it down as it goes out of play. Tomas Mena.
I would say this has still been a pretty clean game, though.
Yes. Oh, yes. This has not ever been out of hand. The refs have not been trying to get a stranglehold on it and sending a message to the guys. I totally agree. I mean, you watching the Eagles, it may happen. I mean, one of the teams I think about is Bethany, who can get pretty physical from time to time with their international flavor on that squad. They're fun to watch. And Northwestern challenged them for a while last year before Bethany pulled away. That's the conference opener 2 weeks from tomorrow. You circle some other teams on the matchup. Northland College, the Lumberjacks, one of your favorite mascots? Maybe not. It's my favorite mascot, maybe, in the UMAC outside of the Eagles. They get real physical when they come here to the friendly confines, so that's another one to circle for later on this season. Northwestern, I don't know if you saw, Gio, picked to be very much in the thick of it in the playoff picture. The Eagles are projected to get a postseason spot. We'll talk more about UMAC play as we get closer to UMAC season, but Coach Wheaton's club, with all the returners that they have, expected to be in the postseason. They were the number 4 spot last year, getting over that hurdle to actually get into the tournament. They lost in the opening round, but this year they're picked 3rd. Superior's picked to win it. They played Augsburg, I mentioned last week, in their season opener. Not a 1-1 draw, 0-0 draw, I should say, as the Eagles give chase here deep in the Aggies' end as they are able to play it out of harm's way as Johnson knocks it out of play. But Superior's picked 1st, Bethany picked 2nd, so the Eagles will have team pick to finish just behind Superior. They got 2 first-place votes. That'll be their opener. And then Northwestern. Really, after the top 2, Gio, it is pretty open. And the Eagles, obviously, I think if you told Coach Wheaton and his staff right now, would you take the number 3 spot in the UMAC? I think they say yes. Now, is it possible that they get over top of Superior and Bethany? Sure, but that would be marketed improvement again. Harris is behind the Eagle defense. Oh, no. One more time, and he missed it this time. Just outside of the near post, trying to tuck it in, and he couldn't finish, and he is kicking himself right now as it remains a 3-0 game. He was that close, Gio, from Augsburg's fans off to our right, standing up, removing the lid from their head, and throwing it onto the field. We almost had a hat trick.
Almost, and it went from a great defensive play to unlucky on the Augsburg
to almost
side.
a disaster for Northwestern. Anyway, as I was saying, I think if Northwestern finishes where the preseason poll is, they would be happy. That would be improvement from last year, and they'd be right in the thick of it, and that means you put together a good UMAC slate where you're competitive against everyone to get the number 3 spot. We'll see how the chips settle, though, once we get to later on this fall. Yeah, hitting his hip, that's a difficult one, Gio. I could have some commentary on that, but often I'm doing these solo. I have the analyst in the booth. You're the analyst. You tell me, did the man in orange blow the whistle correctly, or should he have let that one go?
I think he did it correctly. It was going to be a foul either way. It was definitely unintentional. You can't really get out of the way that easily, but it's still going to be a foul. So obviously he kept his cards in his pocket. And I think that, yeah, it was just an unfortunate.
You backed up the refs every time tonight, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but it is a tough job to do. And in that spot, I agree with you. Well, Harding didn't mean to connect into him, but it just so happened at that spot in the field where there is contact. Now, the Augie guy may have sold it a little bit, but then that's why you said it's not a card. It's not getting a yellow in that spot. It's just a foul, and let's play on. Sent out of play as the Aggies try to spray that one toward the near post. Goal kick coming from Machuca. Not that the Eagles are out of this game by any stretch, Gio, because you get one and who knows what can happen. But you want to just start with getting another shot on goal if you can. Getting some possession time in the other end. Again, the Eagles still have just 2 shots so far in the ball game. Just 1 out of the 2 have been on goal. And so you want to generate some offense, and at the very least tonight you would love to see a 1-up on the board, even if you're not able to come back in this game. Still oodles of time left, just under 34 minutes to go. A number of eager Beavers standing next to the Eagle bench. Far side of the field, left of the center field mark as we see it from our broadcast position. Guys who would love to get into this game. Interested to see as this wears along, Gio, if it stays a 3-0 scoreline. How many guys does Coach Wheaton and his staff get in? They're trying to figure out things on the fly. This is just their second game into the season. UMAC play is going to be here before they know it. and you don't have too many opportunities like this where sure you want to win, but you want to figure things out as well and be squared away as much as you can before UMAC play. They host Emmaus Bible College Saturday here at Reynolds Field, and then you go up north to Duluth that is, if you're not using a Minnesota accent, to play St. Scholastica this coming Monday, and then that's it. Then you get a full 9 days off to prepare for Bethany for the UMAC opener. They have a bunch of things on the checklist, if you will, on the clipboard to check off before they get to September the 18th, and nights like tonight help you figure that out. We know this guy, Tim Deloy, who just sent forward. His spot is secure. He's going to be on the field for practically every second he can be unless he's hurt. Foul called on Luis Villalobos, and I will have you explain the tougher things. Was that the right call? I'll ask you the same question.
I agree, but players in the air, just a little too physical. Guy comes down. Again, not a card. You just say, hey,
I got to call something.
Yeah, you can't, stuff like putting your cleat too high or when someone's in the air or you're pushing too hard. It's stuff where I'm going to call a foul. Maybe the cleat in the air gets a card. But
trying to settle it, Harris searching for his hat trick, couldn't settle it down, still not out of the woods yet, and eventually clearing out of harm's way for Northwestern, Mo Harding.
I'd say starting around the 30-minute mark, we might see people subbing in.
You see right now, 4 or 5 guys for the Eagles stretching out, doing the karaoke, the grapevine, whatever you want to call it, high knees, getting in themselves loose as that one was attempted to be crossed in. Tim Deloy got his body in front of it, nullifying that from getting toward the back post. But for Augsburg now, their third corner kick chance of the evening. All 3 goals for the Aggies have not been on set pieces. They're trying to get their first one by Machuca on a set piece, sending it in for the Aggies. Jacob Taw, sophomore out of St. Paul, Minnesota. They got the first touch to it. Gravity will do its thing and head down into the midst of Machuca.
I think one big thing to remember is even with these subs coming in, don't think Northwestern's giving up.
No, absolutely not.
We have time. This is non-conference play.
Yep.
Let's in-game action. Let's figure things out. Let's see what works. Let's mix things up. Let's
experiment for sure.
Yeah, soccer chemists.
Alfaro giving chase for Northwestern, as is the freshman, Nyagaka. 3-on-1. Eagles trying to take it away, unable to do so as the Aggies play it back, and now reverse fields way high up in the air. Johnson could not get his forehead to that thing.
Great airtime, though.
Yeah, that is something I can close to never imagine doing. I mean, flying in the air like that, trying to connect with your head full speed. Great athlete. I mean, you've seen it from Johnson tonight, his jumping ability there and flying down the field. Reversing fields, Nyagaka on the near side. Got the edge. Ooh. Left one in the dust. Keeping his head up. Couldn't work by another. All right. In that spot, Gio, do you want to see him give it up? Try to reverse fields, drop it to the near side. Did he try to do too much there, or is that one where you're okay with him trying to make something happen himself? As we got Alfaro here with space. Hang on. Hold the phone. Okay, now you can answer the question as they intercepted it.
I think that first move was nice. You're in a tough spot. You get out, but once you get out and you get that little bit of space, definitely pass it off. You did a little too much. I understand you're young and this is like one of your first games.
Yeah.
And he'll get that as he gets older and he plays more and more games.
I was almost going to go right back to Nyagaka. I thought we were going to have a give and go. They tried it earlier between him and Medina. Eagles then lose it, and that's another spot, Gio, where you're probably just saying one more. I mean, you hear that all the time in basketball, a sport I'm much more familiar with, is you're rotating the ball around the key. Pass up on a good shot for a great shot. One that is, good look, but you could get a wide open look in rhythm if you just rotate it one more time. That's often the thought in soccer, too, when you're moving it up the field. What is the perfect number before you say, okay, you're the guy to try to then thread this thing to the far post or send something in on goal? It's timing, it's reps, just like anything is, as the Eagles try to get back. Centering pass, trying to get Kieda on the other end. Just out of his reach.
And I know you're saying I'm agreeing with the refs the whole entire time.
No. I didn't mean to.
No.
knock you out.
I was just gonna point out, like, as a joke, like, but I like disagreed on that call.
Yeah.
Like, it's just soccer shoving, and
Yep.
Sai slipped a little bit, and it looked worse than it actually was. I think you should let the boys play on there.
Yeah, it's definitely not a spot many people would want to be in, as much as they can be critiqued in all sports, not just soccer. But when things are happening so fast out on the pitch, they don't have the aid of replay or being able to slow this thing down. Trying to make something happen moments ago, middle of the field was Belmonte before his pocket was picked. Just over 17 minutes into this second half. Ryan Mitchell alongside Gio Velasco. Appreciate you joining us on this fine Tuesday evening from the Twin Cities. Augies trying to make something happen. Taking a spill was Harris. Some of his teammates asking for a call as the Eagles
We got subs coming in.
launch this thing out of play. One for each side. We'll await the announcement here from our public address announcer on who is in. Alfaro's out for Northwestern. We know that. Is that the man from Centennial? I don't see his number, but it looks like someone I'm thinking of who we haven't seen yet tonight. We'll await the official announcement, or until I can see the back of his jersey to see the number from up here in the press box.
It's like number 20.
It is the man I was thinking of. Joey McMillan, Centennial High School product. Senior out of Hugo, Minnesota. And we'll await the official announcement for the Augie player who checked in moments ago. Troy Johnson. Dancing on the near side, tried to drop it to Villalobos, wasn't up in the play enough. Eagles trying to keep it alive. McMillan just checked in. Could not maintain it. At the midfield mark here on the near side, right below of our broadcast booth position, high above the field in a press box. We look straight on down into the Reynolds Field bleachers that then look on down to the pitch with all the action taking place this evening. Corner kick change for Augsburg as the Eagles hustle back to force them to at least take a breather for a moment.
I think the Augsburg player, my guess is it's number 11.
That would be Riera to send it in. Well, Riera's top of the box, you're saying. If he's maybe the one to get this on the other end of this corner kick send in. Their fifth opportunity of the night on the set piece. Trying to work it out. Able to do so. Job well done. To Nyagaka. Belmonte giving chase for Northwestern. Slowing him down for at least a moment. Villalobos tipped it out of play. Giving up some size there is Medina, doing his best, though, to stay physical with Kieda moments ago. Trying to go over the top. McMillan able to find his man, the freshman on the other end. Mohardine trying to make something happen. Now back to his left foot, trying to send it in. He was denied. Excellent defense, and he's going to commit a frustration foul. Could not have walled him up better. Cesar Daniel, the Portland product, staying in front of Mohardine. But we've seen some good moments from him tonight, Gio, in the goal box. He's actually responsible for the only shot on goal that Northwestern's had all night long, with about 90 ticks left in the opening half. He just could not get enough real estate to have an angle to send that one in on frame. Foul called here on Tim Deloy, helping up the opposition.
It looks like we have another sub getting ready to come in.
Looks to me like it could be Teddy Hall, but I could be wrong. Be number 18 for Northwestern. 6'1". I could be way off. There's so many new players. I just see a tall guy who looks like what I remember Teddy Hall looking like in the past. So here we go. Set piece chance, though, for the Augies before that substitution. Harris was the one taken down. He will send it in. If he's able to score one more before the end of the night, hats may be thrown onto the field. We'll wait and see. He sends this one in. It is sent out of bounds by Northwestern. And so Harris will now jog to the corner, and we will have corner kick chance number 5 for the Aggies tonight. Can the Eagles again find a way to get this one cleared out of harm's way on another set piece opportunity for the Aggies? They have 17 shots tonight. 9 of them have been in on goal. Toward the near post. Martinez got the first touch to it. It's right back to Harris, and he doesn't want to play it. He's going to say, we'll throw it in. He does it super quickly. They're trying to catch the Eagles off guard. And it's knocked out of play. We'll do it all over again. Corner kick chance number 7. You know that if you're counting with me at home. Harris taking his time. He'll reposition the ball. Get it just right. Line up where he wants to send it in with his right foot. Will he send a burner to the near post once more, or will he chip it short? He's going to bend this one. Middle of the box. Good ball. Ricochets its way into the midst of Machuca. Eagles had it lined up well, not giving any lanes to send that one in cleanly on goal. Machuca saying, let's go, boys. Move it forward. Sending this one just over the midfield mark. Nyagaka giving chase for Northwestern. Augie's dancing, and they'll let it go out of play. Remis Repchuk, sophomore out of Oregon, not Portland, to a Latin Oregon, wherever that is. He let that go out of play before throwing it in. Number 3 in maroon on the near side. They're trying to thread it forward in his direction. Back of the heel pass from Chieda to the aforementioned Repchuk. And taking a spill is Chieda. And you see this happen, Gio, from time to time when you're playing a team with lots of speed. You got some guys from Northwestern who have been out there for a long time. Legs are starting to feel it a little bit, and we're hearing the whistle called more and more the more this game extends, where Northwestern's not able to stay in front. The Aggies are going down, and thus they're getting more set-piece chances.
Along with that, frustration rises, and these guys are really cool-headed, but sometimes you just get into that, you lock in, you get in that moment, and you're like, I don't mean to foul you, but
no,
I'm just trying to play hard, man.
Exactly. They're tired and they're behind them. I mean, you put that well, Gio. When you start to lose your legs a little bit, it's not like there's malicious intent, but more fouls start to take place. Surrounding the ball, Harris and Chieda. He will be the one to send it in. Machuca says, I'll take that, as it goes just about 8.5 inches over the crossbar out of play.
And though it missed, he put a lot of finesse on that shot.
There's some English on that.
So much curve.
Multiple subs. Oh, that's Gary Mears in for Northwestern. I know one of them. Senior out of Lino Lakes, Minnesota. Number 11 in white. We've talked about some tall drinks of water, Gio. Mears is 6'5". He may be able to dunk it. I mean, we're now in the range of, more likely than not. I'd say it's like 70-30. He can dunk it when you're that tall. Garrett would be able to answer that for you. I have no knowledge if he can or not. You've noticed I've tried to sprinkle in basketball a few times when it has like next to no place. That's where I'm more comfortable. So, folks, I apologize if I'm getting some of the terms wrong and getting back into soccer lingo again. Appreciate Gio being here and talking about taka and all these other terms I've next to never heard of before. As the Eagles buzz it up this way, knocking out a play is Repchuk, throwing coming for Northwestern. Medina giving way to his teammate McMillan to throw it in as he was the one chasing up the field moments ago. Friesen stepping in. Eagles sensing an opportunity. Space to work with here from way downtown. Maybe a little too overzealous and excited. Unable to get that one in on frame. Bobby Moeller, sophomore out of Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. If you hear that name Moeller and you think Moeller. Have I heard that name before? Yes, you have. Thanks for asking. I mentioned earlier Noah Chan, younger brother of Maya Chan, midfielder standout for Northwestern women's soccer. You got Bobby on the field. His older sister Megan, now a super senior, the old Wiley veteran, leader for Northwestern women's soccer. You'll see them in action, their home opener, a week from tomorrow, hosting Bethel. Her older sister, Natalie, played here for the Eagles years ago. Now Natalie Nightingale. There's all sorts of connections for Northwestern soccer, both on the male and female side. Brothers and sisters representing UNW on the pitch. Cool to see. Nathan Martinez taking his time. Where do I want to go? Well, Friesen drops back to say, I'll help you out. Now they play it off to Deloy, directing traffic. Reversing Fields now to the near side. Medina dropping to Mears. They're over the midfield mark. Threading forward, he's not on the same page as Moeller.
And all these UNW players, like you said, they're so tall, and they can really sprint down the field fast. If they keep adding more height, might as well take our guy in production, Joe.
Height, speed, all of it on the field this evening. Lots of athleticism. Machuca tried to handle, could not. Eagles somehow got in front of it, and this one will go wide. Oh, my goodness. By the skin of their chinny chin, Northwestern survives that sequence, and it remains 3-0. Take a deep breath, Gio. Oofta.
And Machua's been, beside the 3 unfortunate goals, he's been there for his team all night, making saves left and right. It's time that defense, they've been doing good. They're like, hey, we got you this time, brother. Let us block the shot.
Job well done indeed. I don't know who it was exactly each time. I think Deloy may have got a piece of it. I'm not positive. But to save that initial chance, or that was a bouncing ball, Tomas Mena trying to bury it, unable to do so, and then still another chance, and lots of mustard on it, but high and wide of the near post. Martinez flicking ahead, unable to settle that one for Northwestern was Medina, freshman out of Columbia Heights, Minnesota, getting a long run tonight, lots of play. Interested to see, Gio, how many freshmen we've had in the starting 11, and then even when they were subbed out a bit, coming back in playing a lot. And then you got guys like Joey McMillan, senior, Garrett Mears, senior, who just got in, both of them in the last 5 to 7 minutes. Now, there's a lot that goes into that decision that you and I won't know. And if it has to do with just we need to see more of these guys playing before we'll go back to you in the next ball game that we have Saturday here at Reynolds Field, I'm not exactly sure. But, McMillan and Mears have been guys who we've seen connect. They grew up playing together, actually, those two. But I don't want to say Coach Whedon and his staff know exactly what they have in those guys, but they have a better idea. As you see McMillan here, space to work with. He's got a real strong right foot. Tried to thread the needle there, trying to get in behind. Right idea to work it to Mo Hardeen, to no avail, though.
And having these, seasoned veteran guys in there that the gaffer can trust, it's just, especially with all the freshmen on the field, they're like, hey, you've been with me for so long. You know what to do. I don't have to talk to you as much. You can command. Yeah. I can say one thing, and you know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
It's kind of you're pre-seasoning the freshmen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, and definitely an advantage to have. I mentioned those two specifically, Mears and McMillan, but guys who've played together for multiple years, and you hope some of that rubs off on the freshmen, and they learn quickly. It's a process where there's nothing that can simulate game reps in practice and training camp leading up, and the own skills work and training that you do in the off season before you make the jump from high school to collegiate soccer. And really, we preach that here at Northwestern, Geo, because it's the truth, not just in soccer, but in every sport. Some people from the outside will say, Division III. I mean, that's the lowest of the low. There's not much going on. There's no scholarships. Make no mistake, you may have been your best or second best player on your high school team. You take the step up to Division III, it's totally different. And there's no way to explain it and tell you exactly about the experience until you experience it live action on the pitch when the bullets are flying, if you will. And so many players are getting a taste of that, including the man who just sent it forward for Northwestern, Mo Hardeen, as giving chase was Bobby Moeller on the other end, trying to connect for Northwestern. But these minutes, priceless, invaluable, especially for the underclassmen and even more so for the freshmen who are getting this chance tonight for the Eagles.
Especially against such a good team like Augsburg. You're being tested. You are, like you said, invaluable minutes.
If you're not in condition, you'll know it. If you thought you were conditioned in camp and, hey, we got ready, we're good, you can throw anything at us, it's different tonight, facing the speed that they've seen against the Aggies. And, thankfully, like we said earlier, it's not 87 and a high dew point and super humid like it can be sometimes in early December here in Minnesota. It's about as comfortable as you can get. But still, not for the faint of heart to run around the pitch for as long as the guys have tonight. Just over 13 to go. We'll see how many more subs we get in for Northwestern, if any, and then the same for Augsburg. Not as many guys to go to on the bench, but still a healthy number of guys on both sides who've yet to get action this evening.
We might see that in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on.
I realize I probably have said some soccer terms that, maybe the people at home don't know or.
Oh, they know. Some of them know, who have been watching soccer for their kids, their grandkids, their cousins, their friends, their roommates, their neighbors, their whole life. I'm just not as well versed. So
gotcha. Well, then I love that.
You educate me as well as the average viewer at home like myself who's not as versed in soccer. But the majority of people at home know more soccer than I do. And, like I said earlier, we'll change our best. We're better at our best. We'll get better and better throughout the season.
Yeah, like butter on a roll. We'll get going.
Absolutely. Corn on the cob, Gio, if you're at the Minnesota State Fair, do you need to put butter on it? You mentioned butter. I have to ask you. Is it a staple? Does butter have to go on corn on the cob?
Absolutely. I actually was just at the State Fair.
Did you get the roast corn?
Oh, yeah.
It's so
I have
good.
To. That's my favorite thing.
10 out of 10. One of the things I missed, I did not get over there this year, and that's one of the bigger things I missed, is the Eagles give chase here. Bobby Moeller, good hustle, couldn't get there in time. All right, so we got the roast corn. Do you put the pepper on it?
Of course.
Okay.
Pepper, salt, the whole works.
We'll agree on there. Yeah, I just put the pepper on it and call it good at that.
But if I had some Old Bay with me, I'd throw that on there too.
Okay.
But that's my DC.
Give me one of your other favorite State Fair foods.
Can't go wrong with funnel cake.
Funnel cake, okay. Do you go for the Sweet Martha's chocolate chip cookies?
I'm going to be hated.
One of the biggest attractions.
I'm not high on it.
Okay.
I'm going to be hated.
But are you?
I'm not from here. I'm
the
so
Augies
sorry.
buzzing this way, centering and scoring. A tap-in goal for the Augies. I believe that's the man who came on as a sub. We'll await the official call.
Looks like it's number 20.
I don't want to say it incorrectly. That would have been.
Scoring for the Augies, number 20, Owen Salzwiddle.
There we go.
Assisted by number 16, Cesar Daniel.
Was thinking the same thing as you, Gio. As you get another look at home here, he gets in behind, and again, I sound like a broken record, Gio, but Machuca has no chance. I mean, literally there, he wasn't even. He's playing the initial striker coming down the field, and then they pass it off to Salzwiddle, streaking down the middle of the field, sophomore out of St. Anthony Village, Minnesota, local product, makes it a 4-0 tally. Yeah, as Machuca will be done. And I think he was going to come out anyway. I saw him take off his warm-up shirt, warming up on the sideline, stretching it out. I don't think it was just because they just scored, because that wasn't Machuca's fault. I mean, he did nothing wrong there. It's Aiden Thompson now in for Northwestern. I mentioned him earlier, but 5'9" freshman out of Adnes Heights, Minnesota.
Yeah. And Machuca played the best he could, like any other goalkeeper. You can play the best you can with how many shots they get.
Absolutely. And we mentioned in the first half, I counted 3 at least point-blank saves that he had that were grade A chances. I would grade them out to be at least. It could be 6 or 7 to nothing now, like easily. So he had some bright spots still for Northwestern. I'm sure there's a few sequences he wish he could have back, but for the most part, he was, unfortunately, but the reality, pretty left out to dry on the Augie goals, where he would have had to come up with something spectacular, pull a rabbit out of the hat to keep the Augies from finding the back of the net. How do the Eagles push back? 10 and change to go. You find out a lot about your team, how you respond in these moments. Is it very, very likely that Augsburg wins? Yes. But you still find out a lot, if you're Coach Whedon and his staff, for how your guys play out these final 10 minutes and change, especially guys who've been out there for a long time, like Tim Deloy, who just sent it forward. How do you lead as an upperclassman? And then the young guys like Bobby Moeller giving chase there, the sophomores, this is sent out of play. Can you keep your motor going? Can you keep chasing after it, trying to do all you can to get an opportunity to score before the end of this ball game, knowing you don't control that result exactly, but you're trying to put yourself in the best spot if the opportunity comes knocking at the door? You say, all right, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to win that foot race. Every single one of these minutes will be on tape, scrutinized later, if you will, by the coaching staff, and trying to figure out what is the best group for us to move forward with, especially when we get to the start of conference play.
And
4 Augies will come in now.
Ooh, there you go. And I'm excited to see what Aiden Thompson can do in goal in the last 10 minutes against a high-powered offense.
This is his first action in his collegiate career at home in between the posts. Big moment for a freshman.
Absolutely.
Augsburg 4 subs in, as I mentioned. We'll call them out as we see them. One of them, I can tell you, is Chakon Vang, sophomore out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Number 2 in maroon. Also in, heading it there a moment ago, Mickey Daniel, sophomore out of Woodbury, Tartan High School product. We're getting some more local flavor coming in, if you're not noticing that already. Tomas Mena centering this one. Giving chase, Bobby Moeller again. Here he is, the sophomore, buzzing around. Augies taking their time in their own end.
And you can see Northwestern's pressuring right here, trying to get them to move the ball a little faster so they can't get open on the wings.
Because at this point, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Gio, it's not totally a band in the back end, but if they beat you over the top, you kind of live with it, right? I mean, you want to do all you can to get a chance here. Mears taken down. Whistle is blown. Foul was called. Eagles will have a set-piece opportunity.
You can definitely see that with how high the defenders are playing up here. And look at the goalkeeper. He's playing up high, too.
Pushing that envelope. Love to see it. Just over 8 to go. Joey McMillan hovering around the ball. He's going to send this thing forward, trying to give someone a chance as they will give a run toward the near post as we see it. Goalkeeper for the Augies, again, for the second half, Luke Omot lining up his teammates. He'll race forward and squeeze it, no problem. What do you think? In that spot, Gio, the ideal spot you want to put it, was that ball close to where you want it? Was it a little too high? Was it not far enough? I mean, where do you want that ball?
You want a little bit more of a line drive. You know, obviously you want to go to your guys.
Speaking of line drive, real quick here, sorry, Gio, but getting his hands on it for the first time, Aiden Thompson, able to play it forward quickly. Speaking of quickly.
And he intercepted that really well off a cross.
Eagles threading it now to the near side. Garrett Mears dancing. Where does he want to go? They're giving him his left foot. He'll take it. Good cross sent in. It was denied. And now sent as far as Martinez as the Eagles press forward their defense, as you mentioned a minute ago, Gio, pushing the envelope.
I think this is where they're trying out new tactics. Maybe like quicker passes, try hitting people from different lanes.
Martinez looking at his options. Says, let's play it all the way back to Thompson. The goalkeeper sending ahead toward midfield. Mears giving chase once more. You can tell the Eagle coaching staff thinks highly of Mo Hardeen, the freshman. He's been out there really all night long from the jump. Still trying to give chase for Northwestern.
And we got subs standing on the sideline, ready to come in for the last 5 minutes.
One for Northwestern, one for Augsburg. At the next opportunity the official gives for them to come in. I mentioned the Eagles next in action Saturday. They will be playing host to Emmaus Bible College. 2 o'clock start. On the other hand, Augsburg will next be taking to the pitch. Friday night, Edor Nelson Field, downtown Minneapolis, hosting Luther College, the North. An opponent from the ARC, American Rivers Conference, making the trek up from Iowa here to the Twin Cities. If this result holds, Augsburg will move to 2-0-1 on the season. The Eagles will fall to 0-2. But again, Northwestern fans, take it with a grain of salt, grain of pepper, grain of whatever you want. Don't take it too seriously, is what I'm saying. Yes, you want to win the games, but if you're trying to prepare your team for UMAC play as best you can, they knew the MIAC slate would be tough to open the season. Those subs do come on that you mentioned, Gio. We'll call them out as we see them. I mentioned the guy who was on the field basically all night long.
Number 15 for Augsburg.
That will be Anderson Homan, freshman out of Elkhorn, Nebraska for the Augies. Thank you, Gio. And for Northwestern going off the field, Jared Mohardine, the guy who was there from the jump. Good night for the freshman out of Denver. Making his presence felt. He will watch the final 5 minutes from the bench. Belmonte trying to apply some pressure. Medina giving chase as it goes out of play. Throw into the Eagles. Medina will take it. Lobbing back to Nathan Martinez. Shakopee, Minnesota product. I know you're not from here, Gio, but Valley Fair, have you heard of it? Amusement park, Valley Fair in Shakopee?
I've heard a lot about it, and
Yeah?
I really want to go.
They have something called Hockey Day Minnesota here in Minnesota. It is happening at that amusement park in January. They'll have a rink in the middle of the amusement park.
That's really cool.
Yeah, if you can't tell, I like hockey. I've mentioned it a few times, and basketball.
Well, we've talked about it a little bit. I'm a Capitals fan, so
Yeah,
feel a little out of place, but
they'll be here for their one trip they have every year at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure when it'll be.
might have to go see him play.
Bobby Moeller buzzing up the near side of the field, and it's last off of him, unfortunately. The Augie giving chase with him. Jeffrey Richter played it off of him. We heard from his parents earlier tonight. If you want a shout-out, got to send it in right now. Otherwise, we're not going to get to it. ESN livestream at gmail.com as we tick to under 4 to go. Appreciate the interaction we've got on there tonight. Eagle fans and Augie fans letting us know they're chimed in on the Eagle Sports Network, now a proud affiliate of the UMAC Sports Network, for the action this evening. UMAC v. Mayak. Love to see it.
I also would like to apologize to my mother because I know how much she loves the St. Martha's cookies and how much Minnesota loves it. I'm just not from here.
I agree with your mom. I'm a fan of Sweet Martha's. Now, they're not the greatest things to sliced bread. I get it. Some people may overhype them a little bit, but, you know, it's tradition. It's what you do at the fair. Corner kick chance for the Augies. Their 8th of the evening. Trying to test the freshman goalkeeper, Aiden Thompson. Tim Deloy got the first touch to it. Cleared it out of harm's way.
It was great defense.
Thompson
by
will squeeze
Deloy.
this one and throw it forward. Green space in front. Of Garrett Mears. Moeller sliding in there. Couldn't get a touch to it. Coach Wheaton, I think, as he was gesturing on the sideline, wanted a call there. Didn't get it. Some give and go for the Augies. Flicking now to the near side. Medina has it lined up for Northwestern.
That was great defense by Deloy to just get his head on it, and then great call by Thompson to call off his defender, saying, hey, don't worry about it. No one else is around us. I got us. It looks like we also have another sub ready to come in for the last 2 minutes.
Speaking of Deloy, Gio, if the last 3 seasons are any indication, the Eagles will need a number of timely headers from Tim Deloy to have success this year, and I think they're confident they'll get it.
Oh, yeah, another seasoned vet that the coach just has so much confidence in.
Irreplaceable. He was out for a stretch of games last year, and you noticed a huge difference when he wasn't able to play for the Eagles. Is coming off is Belmonte. One more sub in for Northwestern, getting a big round of applause. Is that Grant?
That is Grant.
The junior out of Andover.
Yep.
Genowick.
Grant, the ministry major. One of my classmates.
He'll get a crack at it here, just over 90 seconds to play. So do you know Greek now, basically, as a ministry major? Working toward it?
I haven't taken it yet. Actually,
okay.
I started
taking a tumble. Back to his feet. Good to see for Augsburg.
yellow
Anderson
card
Holman.
was pulled out.
Second yellow the Eagles have been given tonight. As you're saying, you're going to have to learn Greek eventually. Rumor has it you have to do that as a ministry major. Sounds difficult.
You got to do Greek 1, Greek 2. I tried to get a little bit ahead of it, a little Duolingo, just get used to it. It's going to be exciting.
That's a good way to look at it. Exciting. I'll circle back on that one. If you still feel that way later on, that's a good sign.
I'll let you know at the end of next semester.
One of the many great offerings here at the University of Northwestern St. Paul. We are unwavering. If you'd like to find out more, unwsp.edu for anything you could wish to find. Under a minute to go, as you just heard. Eagles trying to maintain possession. Spreading to the middle of the field. McMillan now sprays it wide. Miscommunication there is stepping forward and then hesitating. Spencer Ford, a freshman out of Savage, Minnesota, a Laker product, Prior Lake High School, getting some run here. Down the stretch for the Eagles, under 30 ticks to go. As I mentioned, Northwestern will next be in action hosting Emmaus Bible College, 2 p.m. Saturday afternoon. Would encourage you to come on out for that. I think it's going to be in the low 60s Saturday, Gio. It's going to feel like fall. We're going to have a crisp breeze in the air. We're going to start thinking about what it's going to feel like for playoff baseball and all that good stuff to come. Hope you can come out to Reynolds Field for that one. Augsburg moves to 2-0-1 on the season. The Eagles fall to 0-2, still looking for their first goal on the season. Another 4-0 defeat. Augsburg Aggies will next be in action, as I mentioned earlier, Friday, hosting Luther College in downtown Minneapolis on campus. Gio, your final takeaways from what you saw from the Eagles tonight. They had 3 shots, just 1 on goal. Augsburg 21, 10 on goal.
Don't let the scoreboard confuse you. Augsburg played great, but I think UNW played great too. They just kept it the whole entire time, and Augsburg just had great breakaways, and the goalkeeping was great. The defense felt great, and I think we're going to have great success once conference play starts. And these young men, they should be proud of how they played tonight.
Yeah, there's talent on the team. There's experience. There's underclassmen playing big roles, as we talked about. And I think the main theme we're saying, Gio, is you learn from this.
Yeah.
You learn from this tape that you get tonight. You can't simulate game action. The guys have been chomping at the bit for opportunities like they had last Friday down the road at Bethel, hosting Augsburg tonight. Is it the results you want? No. By no stretch of the imagination. But what matters and what gets you into postseason play and allows you to extend your season, you're not conference for show, you're conference for dough, because you make your hay in UMAC play. So that is still to come for Northwestern, something to look forward to in a few weeks as the sides shake hands. Best of luck to Augsburg the rest of this season. As I said earlier, shout out to all you who chimed in on the inbox earlier on this evening. Makes the broadcast more fun. Encourage you to join us more throughout the season. Would love to have you. I'm not sure about the announcing situation for Saturday against Emmaus Bible College. Like I said, encourage you to come out on campus for that. At the very least, the plan is to have it broadcast here on the Eagle Sports Network, even if we do not have an announcing available for that. We'll wait and see. TBD. You may have Gio.
Yep. As far as I know, I'm scheduled.
We'll wait and see. We have multiple sports taking place on Saturday. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing more of Gio Velasco and his great soccer mind. I'll stop rambling along. Have a great rest of your Tuesday evening. Shout out to the great work being done behind the scenes. Don't want to forget them. Cameras up top, doing great work up there. Joe and Caitlin here in the broadcast booth as well, handling productions. Could not do it without them. It does take a village. Hope you enjoyed it at home as much as we did here on site. As the Eagle faithful give the men a round of applause. Great crowd on hand tonight. Hope we get more fans on Saturday to come. Have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week. Hope to see you next time right here on the Eagle